Look at that diversity on the right side, right? So we're striving to go back to unity, right? So let's understand how that works. So here's the same thing. From 0 point of this diversity, it's the same picture as below, as the before one, but here it is sideways. It forms like a heart, okay? See, it's the same picture, but different form. So because the bottom is the singularity point, the 0 point. So in between, you can be and are in all dimensions, like I said before, right? The network, the matrix, you're everywhere. So the further you go from that source point, what happens? Less and less you recognize yourself. Because basically what happens is with the fractalization, you're a distortion or a fractal of the original, right? You're fractalized. So no matter what road you take, you go up the positive side or you go up the negative side. At one point, you get to a point there where you realize, oh, wow, what? We all came from source. And that's the middle point, the circle in white in the middle of the heart. That's where you realize, oh, we all came from the same source. Boom. Then you have the arrow in the middle. Then you go back to unity. So again, you start from 0. You can take the positive road up, or you can take the negative road up. And then that negative side is looking at each other. Oh my God, like I don't even recognize who you are. Who's that on the other side? The distortion becomes so big that it was you, but now you're not even recognizing yourself. You became so distant from each other, but that was you. And that at some point on that road, you will realize that we all came from the same, and you're like, aw, I love you. Boom. You go back to unity, you see? Here's the heart again. Basically, in that middle section, all you see is the DNA that crosses through time and space. It's a DNA wave, and the energy that wave that I showed you before as well, and I showed it with the DNA as well. So it's time and space, and it connects both polarities. So here in the middle, you got the unity, which is sound, the frequency. Remember the thoughts. Well, the unity starts and then creates the sound, and then the light. So much sound power, so much frequency. It lights up, and that creates the light energy, and that energy again, so much energy, it condenses so much, and it forms matter and creating geometry. So this is how it goes. On the middle of the heart are you, it's you again in different dimensions. So you can go from 9 to 8 to 7th, and then you go back to unity. It doesn't matter. It does not go in order. Oh, I came from 5th and now I'm experiencing 6th, and then it's not a scale that is in order. It's just different space times, so you can be experiencing it in different occasions. Are we here yet? Do we have any questions?
No, it's fantastic. This is really great. Thank you.
I think I have a video here. I don't think it's playing though. I'll get back to it. Here we have Matias. It's just a reminder here again, the space-time geometry, that the spiral of evolution. You see again, we were talking about these tetrahedrons here. Each tetrahedron here, the spiral of evolution is more like the one we saw before in the fabric of space-time that I told you already, that looks more like a hurricane kind of format, like a whirlwind shape. So you get the first 2 trinities here, for example, and then you put them together, and that's what you form a Merkaba with. So you have here love, wisdom, and will, and then you have this other trinity, which is vibration, energy, and matter. So you put them together, and you have the Merkaba, right? The Merkaba that I showed you in the beginning. And here, each one represents space and the other time. So This is what the being expressed, love, wisdom, and will. This is the experience, the experiment. So what do you experience? You experience vibration, you experience energy, and you experience the matter. And then this is how you integrate everything. And everything is integrated in the neutron, the electron, and the proton. And then what you transmute, when you transmute, you're basically soul, spirit, and body. So the universe, as I said, it's a system of 12. And here you have the trinities, the four main trinities of the being represented geometrically, and everything there is under space, okay? It takes the space, the time, is when you express, you experience, you integrate, and you transmute that. Those are equivalent to space time. And what happens in space time, you have that spiral, right? And what I said, the spiral goes up like a whirlwind, right? It expands and it evolves. Evolution doesn't go like in this spiral that he did. I mean, it's a spiral, but the spiral becomes that kind of whirlwind format. And it's always here in a golden mean. This is the golden mean that he has. It's a mathematical term. And what he showed here, like a clock, see, you have 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. What is that? Remember the triangles? I think we spoke that in the first class where the triangles keep moving, 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 moving. So it's each of these trinities moving, and it's all forming this clock in space and time. So you experience one of those trinities at one space and time. Let's say you experience vibration, energy, and matter in certain space and time. So it creates one imprint on that clock. And when you have so many of these experiences, it will turn into a sphere, because all of those triangles, if you put them together and together, infinity, there's so many that it becomes a sphere. And here's he's just showing how all of those become also the dodecahedron, because the dodecahedron has the 12 faces. All of that is 12. There in a dodecahedron, you have 12 phases of that geometry, and that will evolve from the tetrahedron, from the Merkaba. Then you evolve. You have a hexahedron, which is not here, but then you go and you evolve, and then you have a dodecahedron. And then one to the left is the icosahedron, which has the 20 phases, but it has the 12 nodes. Everything is 12. Okay, so that's part of the 12 systems. It's a very long subject, but I'm just giving you an understanding overall what it is. And now we finally get to the Merkaba. Okay, so the Merkaba again is the structure of creation itself, the core of every source of energy. Why I say the core? Because the key to the expansion to everything of all things that are created in the universe. It is the geometry of all of that. So on a perfect vibration and harmony, you can connect with the basis of the atoms of creation. See the person there in their own Merkaba, spinning, creating that toroid field, same thing as the atom here. So therefore you go beyond the basis of reality when you are in your Merkaba and when you activate that, because basically you can travel through space and time. You're basically traveling in your own spaceship. That's your Merkaba. It's your life, your light spaceship. So in your Merkaba, you are in your pure frequency essence state of being. And like I said, some ET races can travel in their own Merkaba. So they don't even use technology or ship. They can just basically travel in their own Merkaba across space time. All right, we have a little bit more to go. So anybody needs to take a pause and say something, or we can continue. There's a lot of information here. I know it's getting late for some of you, but I'll try to wrap this up pretty soon. Here's the Merkaba. So, and feel free, everybody, to say anything at any point. Always good to have feedback. So I'll continue here. So here's the vehicle that transcends space-time. The Merkaba machine activates the root chakra, which carries the potential of the spirit of igniting the crown chakra. So basically, the Kundalini is born in the root chakra, like I said, when the Merkaba is activated. It is the geometry that envelops every creation of Source. So from the micro level to the macro level. So basically, an atom, a cell, a being, every being that emanates energy, like a planet, a sun, they all have their own Merkaba. So I can hold the energy. Well, everything contains their own Merkaba is the point. Here, it says a lot here about the Merkaba. You can read into that, but I can read some of it. Merkaba is a sacred geometry symbol structure composed of two intersecting equilateral tetrahedra. When one points down upwards, the other one points downwards, forming a three-dimensional six-pointed star tetrahedron. So the tetrahedron pointing upward represents the divine masculine. We're going to look at that in a second. So, and the masculine energy, while the tetrahedron pointing down represents the feminine energy. So as the two tetrahedra merge, pointing up represents, the masculine father, right, represents father, and the one down represents mother, feminine energy. So as the two tetrahedra merge, so what they do, they integrate that form perfectly balanced, and they put that harmony on those two sides, and they form an energy, an alignment between those physical and metaphysical spiritual realms, symbolizing sacred union of the divine balance between the masculine and the feminine energy. So as well as, like I was saying, heaven and earth, right? That's what they call it. So the Merkaba symbol represents that unity, the interconnection of that divine and the earthly realms. And it's considered a powerful tool in the spiritual process of ascension, of transformation, and protection and healing of the soul. So it's like a holistic stardust, for example, of divine providence, harmonizes energies and creates energies between polarity with each living cell and throughout the cosmic universe. So here we have these symbols. The triangle, like I was saying, interconnects. The male pointing up, and then we will see if this is another side. Okay, symbolizes a relationship, the male, female, all that I said, light and dark, spiritual, physical, both sides must work together for you to find a deeper meaning and the connection of life. Okay, so and with the universe, therefore within, it's for your maximum fulfillment, for that connectivity. So here's the being in his Merkaba, and it says that you are able to, what does it say, to program your Merkaba, your light body. And the Merkaba in the Egyptian, it's an Egyptian word, which is related to the vehicle of life. And we'll look into what it means exactly and see again here. You are in your spaceship, in your Merkaba. So once you activate your vehicle of life, the Merkaba, you're out in your spaceship, my friends. You're connected. You're in that vibration. You can go and jump space and time in your own bubble, in your own spaceship. And here's the Merkaba in a physical representation of the power that resides within all humans to connect with the universe, within all beings. Here you have, again, even a planet, every being that has its own energy, like I said, has its own Merkaba, including an atom, a cell, a planet, sun. Everyone has its own portal within. So it's a vehicle of light. Again, it moves energy. Toroid field moves energy, right? So it's a portal. What is it? It's a portal, a geometry portal, because it basically holds all matter in that. And I'll explain later when we look at the center core of the seed of the Merkaba. the portal that pulls that matter, our physical state of reality that we perceive. Here we have, Billy Carson. He's just giving some explanations about the Merkaba, how they were mentioned. It was mentioned in the Bible there. It's like a reference of the Merkaba where Ezekiel, like he ascends to heaven in his wheel in the Merkaba. And in the Torah, it's called the Merkava, and it means like the throne, the chariot. So here he's explaining that. If you want to look at it later, what he said exactly on that slide there. Here also is the Star of David. Simply, the Merkaba in 2D. That's what it is, simply. So they were taught by prior people the power, okay? Prior people, because behind that sacred geometry, it comes back from, the Egyptian mystery schools. I mean, that knowledge has been passed down to them from way before that. So the Merkaba, now you see the Merkaba here spinning. Basically, it creates a torus field. That's the energy, circulating there. Here you have the Mer, light, Ka, spirit, and Ba, soul. So here you have a masculine, feminine, how the Merkaba is direct positioned. So for a female, you have like the tip, as you see, it goes, that triangular part that's the part that's in front of the heart center. And for the male, that's the different, you have the flat surface that's in front of his heart center. So basically, what you're going to do with that Merkaba, you're going to spin it. So to activate that, you spin the Merkaba. So basically, to your right, you see the arrow there? That person's facing forward. So as you see, you turn the top part of the Merkaba, the top tetrahedra, to your right. And then the bottom tetrahedra to your left. Here you have a Merkaba. And in the center here, you have different geometries. Here, this part that's in yellow that you see, that's an octahedron. We'll talk about that as well. And here in the core center of the vehicle of light, basically your Merkaba, you have the seed. We call that the seed of the Merkaba. That's what's on your heart center. Okay, so that's the essence of it all, and it's in an octahedron shape. Octahedron shape would be like the pyramid that I showed. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then upside down. It's like the pyramid, and in Egypt actually is an octahedra. It's just that the one that's facing down, it's just an energy in a different plane. It's not constructed downwards, but it's there. It's an energy field because what's in the middle of the pyramid is the seed, and it's built in every high in consciousness civilization. I mean, it was built by higher consciousness civilizations here on this planet. So how do we turn by ETs? So how do we turn on a vehicle made of light? How do you turn it on? How do you turn on the light, right? So let me ask you that question. So what do you need to turn on the light? What do you need to turn on your light vehicle? Well, you need a spark, right? A spark to light up that vehicle. So basically the spark, that's what occurs in the center of that octahedron. So it's a plasma. And the plasma that comes, it's a plasma that comes from the 7D. And it's an aspect of God itself. It's an attribute. And religions used to call that archangels. And this one would be called Archangel Samael. We'll talk more about that in another video. Well, here, the spark is the one that ignites and originates our physical reality in other sense, right? It's in 60, it sparks, I mean, it comes from 7D to the physical reality, the creation, where the engineer you is in 6D, the creator you. and from light to matter, then you have the physical reality. You have life. Voila. So this is where you're going to be creating your realities. This from the heart center of your Merkaba. So it all starts in your seed. So the seed of a Merkaba, and then it goes inside. Again, you see the shape in yellow. Now you have a hexahedron. It's contained there. It's a cube, and basically it's a geometry, and it's like the shape that tesseract. So it comes and it's a cube that opens and will contain the whole Merkaba, and then it contracts. If you ever see a tesseract, it's a square, it's a cube contained in another cube. So imagine this cube, and then it goes and contains the whole Merkaba, and then goes back to center. So closes and opens, and that's the hexahedron there. It's the yellow cube here. So that's another geometry that's part of the Merkaba. So to activate, to enlighten all these lines of the geometry of your vehicle of life, you have to enlighten with that spark all of those circuits. These are all simply circuits of your vehicle of light. So we will talk more about the geometries, because there's more geometries to this that we can add more and more. It's simply adding more circuitry to your vehicle, right? It's like a computer. The more circuits, the faster it runs, right? So I spoke about this today with you, Star Seeds, in our chat about that today. I'll post that after in Facebook. So basically, here is Matias explaining that. The spark, how it creates a torus field, because then that torus field is actually coming out from your Merkaba. Your Merkaba is the one that has the torus field. He's just showing the center point, which that is the octahedron where the spark ignites. And then, so basically that spark is the chiral. It's known by the ancients, but it's in modern times, it was called the swastika, the symbol. I'll show you here in the little video. And now it's completely charging what it used to be. It was a good symbol of creation, the spark that creates and forms the torus and activates the Merkaba and the Kundalini. So basically, it's a shape, a plasma, and it's what sparks all life forms again, like that I'm repeating myself, but just because it's information that you want to have. And is that what sparks all life forms? In thought, well, it's basically what the Holy Grail, that they talk about the Holy Grail. It's the container. That's the container, the Holy Grail, all right? And it also generates like a Stargate, because it's from 70 to 60. So it's like a little portal. That's the portal in there that you have. So, which is transversible. Well, it's like a wormhole. It's the light that comes, the spark comes in that, like I said, it's like a Holy Grail, and you're going to show you an animation how it's done here by the scientist Dan Winter, and what's the plasma. It's like a 4D it's a 4D, it's a element, a fourth state of the element, because you have liquid, you have solid, you have gas, and you also have plasma, right? So basically, keep in mind that the matter, like water, is said to have 3 states, but it's liquid, solid, gas, and then you have the fourth state, the plasma state. So it's a plasma spark that comes through 7D. It's like an ionized gas. Well, basically, what is a plasma? It's like an ionized gas, and it consists of like positive ions and of some free electrons. So basically, so therefore, these proportions all is a result in a more or less an overall proportions like an electric charge, right? A spark. And here I'll give you an example of that. It's typically found in low pressures, like in the atmosphere, plasma I mean. So it's kind of found in fluorescent lamps, or in high temperatures, as in the state of nuclear fusion, for example. Let me show you the animation here. Okay, I have to get out of this container here because it doesn't let me play the video. How are we doing? Are we still going on? I think I have maybe 10 more minutes. Are we, if you have to leave, that's fine. I think Alicia had to leave, but I can show you here. Let me get out of this part here. I can show you here. There it is. So here you have the ignition of the spark, and that's the grail. So as you see, the spiral I was talking about, and so both sides, you have the one Merkaba top and the other down, right? So they're both creating that field, but from the center, once it ignites, it creates that kind of geometry. Let me see if I can play it again. It's really fast, but if you see it sideways here, was it forming? It's forming like what they call the Holy Grail. Also, I think there was like another slide that I wanted to show you. Here's that video that we didn't see. So I'll put that here on editing.
See how you can basically map it out like a story? Here's the beginning, which could be seen as creation or a start of a cycle, and then it moves outwards, expanding and moving into all potential until it reaches its peak in the middle. It stretches far out and then begins moving back towards the center, back to its source. But it will be a new space that it now exists in. Then it returns back to a center point where it ends, or transitions into a state where it expands out once more, continuing its infinite cycle of expansion and contraction. One could also say that it moves through the chakras, moving from a low frequency to an incredibly high frequency, where it will unite and transition out once more. Now think of the human species like this, and 2012 being that point of unity where everything comes together, right before starting off again and expanding out into something new and different. This is basically what's happening right now on Earth. But there's a catch. We have absolutely no idea how we're going to expand out, because there are so many potentials with what's happening on the planet right now. Cycles are everything. The way in which we live our lives is made up of cycles. We have both biological cycles.
Okay, so that was just a quick, so you understand like the shape of the DNA. So you can understand as well the frequency vibration of that forming of the DNA. And here again is the grail. And you see how the spark comes through from plasma 7D and how it expands through that grail. And you see at some point on the right, you see the shape that it shows there. That's what they call the chiral. And you see how it forms what we now see it like a swastika. But it's because they changed what was so beautiful and creation and the start of all potentials of life. They changed that into, you know, their sick ideology, but it made it a negative. But you understand what the origins of that grail and what it is. So, okay, let's continue on. Now here we have another video here. Matias is speaking and he's going to explain the systems.
Darkness and light within us is to understand that the sixth dimension has created the vehicle that we call Merkaba to create realities. The Merkaba is the system of the sixth dimension that helped souls to split in many other beings that we call the vehicle of light. But the vehicle of light was built by darkness. So it was not just light. It has both. That's why the vehicle of light has a negative and a positive and split the body in two. The ones that root ourselves to the ground, to the darkness, and the ones that go up to the light. And the only way you can create a new reality and to aware about who you are is by going to the center, not up, not below, just the core of everything, in the middle, in the center. That's why the only way you can transcend light and darkness as the concept, as the biological concept that we have, is if you honor your roots and honor your branches and leaves. Is the only way you can go to the core, to the center, and create your own and new reality.
All right, because that's your potential, your 0 point. And from there, all your potentials, remember we spoke the 0 point, that's where heart center is, where your seed is, where everything is created. So now let's get to the final parts, like how can I create my Merkaba? Vehicle of Life program, my Merkaba, right? Okay, so first of all, a Merkaba, you can program it like a crystal that you program to be untraceable. All right, some people want to be untraceable. It can be undetectable. You can program it to be untraceable, undetectable, invisible. You can use your Merkaba to go out and expand and remote view the whole universe. And you can program to vibrate at your desired frequency. So like I said, some ET races, they just program themselves in their Merkaba. I want to be in certain vibration and pop, in and out they pop. Here we have, okay, now Matias in a short video as well. Here, the Merkaba he's explaining the house or the vehicle of a being that makes it possible for the spirit to ignite its energy. So again, the Merkaba is a house or a vehicle of the being that makes it possible for the spirit to ignite its energy. And Mer is the being. It's the manifestation of that being. Ka is the spirit, and Ba is the vital energy.
All the ancient symbols that are around. All the ancient symbols, we're trying to explain specific data, specific information regarding some things to connect to the divine. So if we put all of that together, we create the perfect vehicle towards divinity. So all of these concepts brings us to what we call sacred geometry. What is sacred geometry? Sacred geometry is all geometry is sacred, of course, everything is sacred, but actually it becomes sacred when we put consciousness and become aware of what is this for. When we recognize the power that this has in order to connect me with the entire cosmos. Okay? So this is why geometry is sacred. Okay? So the Egyptian did this structure of all these traits that represents the house or vehicle of a person with a spirit that activates its energy. So Mer is that person, that manifestation. Ha is the spirit, and Ba is the vital energy. So Mer Ha Ba is the structure of a vehicle or a house that allows the spirit to ignite its energy, vital energy, to become a creator. So this is the Merkaba. Merkaba is the summary of all these concepts and geometries that you can see in all pictures of history that are together in order to create a seed to be able to expand to the entire cosmos and universe, be connected with the divine. So let's go into understand how we can find this geometry in ourselves so we can understand how to become a seed of the entire tree of the universe.
Here he's talking about another part of this, also very interesting. So
which was the first pattern of network that the universe has created? unity expands itself into a trinity called vibration, energy, and matter. So this is why the self, the higher being, the essence, projects itself into our reality through vibration, energy, and matter. So from this reality, the entire being of the universe will double itself, project itself into duality, creating another tetrahedron down, with this here being now the ego, the individual, the one that is anchored down. Okay, this one here, the individual. And then this individual, the ego, will have to project itself into another trinity, finding the essence, which is through wisdom, will, and love. So this first network is the one that, by multiplying itself, what has created the Merkaba, the structure of the Merkaba. Okay, so Merkaba is the first network vehicle of life that we call the vehicle of the I am. I am. I am. Okay. So remember that this is the main pattern and basis of creation. So if I activate that in me, I recognize this power in me of the first network ever created. So I can be touched and touching every one of the other networks around. So we have here that if I connect with the I to the am and the am to the I, so the ego with the essence and the essence with the ego, and both connected through the right vibration, energy, and matter, through wisdom, will, and love. If we have all that, we are weaving the main network of consciousness that we can ever build, that can connect us to the entire cosmos and entire universe. So this is why the Merkaba should be activated by ourselves, because this is the most basic network. If we want to activate the entire network of consciousness everywhere, so we have to activate first our own, and this is the most simple and easiest activation. Okay. So inside the Merkaba, when you have both in the core, this shape is created. Remember the octahedron. The octahedron is the divine seed. Is the sacred heart that represents the seed of creation itself. So this one here, the octahedron, is the one that we have to activate in our hearts. This pattern, the octahedron, you must locate it in this way, with a triangle down and a triangle up. So in this way, you know how to sit for the meditation, to activate the Merkaba. The way we do it is by sitting with our legs crossed like this, okay? And we can find here on the back the coccyx, where we sit our spine, then our knees in both sides here, our knees, coccyx, the knees, okay? And here we have the hands or the shoulder, like this, hands and shoulders, and in front we have the chest, so the heart. So in this way, you can position yourself into the meditation, and you have this triangle here up that represents the head. Okay, so that's why the octahedron is the base of your being. So as you see, these are the main networks created for the universe. So both of them are the position of meditation. So you see it here, the seat, but actually it's better to see the position of meditation in this tetrahedron. So you see the coccyx here, back, and then your knees and hands with your spine on the back, your arms towards the hands and the knees, and the head on the top. So you see the position of meditation in the tetrahedron. So when your being here connects with the other being coming down, it connects the Merkaba that in the core will create the seed of life. And in the octahedron, the seed of life, we can see there the Merkaba again taking start.
Okay, we have 2 more minutes.
We have to do in order to be ready and activate this too in ourselves. So what do we have to do in order to activate that Merkaba for this task? Basically, to think about all the things that moves you the most.
And here's just a quick minute here.
What we are going to activate. We have to think about love in our heart. Then we have the 2 wings of the angel, wisdom and will. Then below we have here vision and matter. And behind we have the energy. The energy is in the coccyx because it activates the kundalini. Is the vital energy that ignites everything, the kundalini. That comes from the lower self. So the ego here is really important to ignite the kundalini. So the ego, the I, in order to reach the essence, to and light its energy, ignite its energy through love, wisdom, and will. And in order for the essence to come to the being, to the I, my ego, it needs to be downloaded by the energy, by vibration and matter.
To finish this up, so what he's talking about, it's like a battery. So you need both charges. So you have the whole being is the I am, but if you see here, the top is the am and the bottom is the I. So in other words, I am means, you know, to be, I am. And when you are on unconscious, you are simply operating in the I. You're simply operating on the ego level. I, me. Yo is in Spanish. And then he wrote soy means am in Spanish, yo soy. So I am, and that's the, you know, the different charges of the battery to for this being to exist, right? The wave, spiritual, you got emotional, the physical, and then here he's showing, he was talking about the different points, how to activate that. You know, first the love that there comes from the seed and then enters through that portal, wisdom, and then the will. You have to work on each of those nodes. Wisdom, it's a whole different class about how to do that, but I'm just giving you a design here. Each one represents a different thing. Wisdom, will. Once you activate the green part, basically you're going to activate your I of the I am. You're going to activate the I. Once you activate that I, that will bring the energy here to your coccyx, like he was saying. That's the energy. So then you ignite this other trinity, which is the energy, vibration, and matter. Once you activate those 3 points, you meditate in the energy, you meditate in vibration, you meditate about the matter, like what have I done as far as vibration, how I have changed my life. There's a lot of things you can work on to activate those points. Once you activate that blue trinity, then you're going to be activating the am to go into your being. So now you are activated. You have the I am working together. And here's just the same thing. Here is basically another point of view of your node. I thought I was going to do this presentation in half an hour. I think it's been longer. Sorry.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, it's really good.
So here's the graphic space time. Basically, like now I imagine, you imagine like a web, right? So the net, a spider web. So if you're like a bug on that point, right? And the network construct, everything is gravity. So basically, everything that has matter has gravity. So basically, the gravity will bend that web, that network. And this is what you see here. Basically, the bending, or you can use that word matrix, right, to describe this web again. So this network. So if the matrix gets some mass on it, it will warp all the fabric around that space-time, right? It's warping here. So that means that space and time around that mass vicinity is different than for the rest. So basically, the space and time for that central point is different than space time on the other nodes, right? Just everything around that, let's say that's a planet, so everything around that is going according to that node, but the further you go out, you're no longer bound by that gravity or that pull from that center point. It's the same thing he was explaining here. See here, this space and time. So it goes and it warps all the fabric around it. Here you have, let me see. So yeah, so center point that goes down and warps the fabric of space and time around it. Now you have the mirror time that he was talking about in the video. the mirror time of that geometry. So when you are observing this geometry from, let's say you will be perceiving it in a different space time. See those eyes there? So you're like in a different space time of that construct. So it makes a difference because everything depends where you're looking from. Where are you looking from? What are you observing? Like it's that will change in relationship to where you are on that that point in time. So what you're going to be observing will be different. If you're looking, remember, like science, that science double experiment that I suggested you guys to look at. So the act of what science says, and has been proven there on the quantum field of experiments, that the observer, the one observing the measurement in that quantum system, makes the profound effect on the system. So basically, it all depends. If your eyes are from down there, you're going to see a different geometry. If your eyes are looking from above, you're definitely going to see something whole different other structure. Just like our constellations, we're looking at the constellations from here, and we see Orion, we see all these different patterns, but if you're out in space, you're no longer going to see those same constellation format patterns that you're seeing. So in other words, again, you are the entire universe, just to wrap this up. Just like your body, like I was saying, is one universe on its own. So it's like a Russian doll, people. Like it's one universe within another universe, and then you have another universe. Like look at a cellular level, right? Or a microscopic, or then you go to the subatomic realm. And again, it's like all Russian dolls, one inside of each other. Oh, you go the other way where you have then the universe, and then you have the multiverse. Like it's a universe containing another universe. So we can go like the source. So basically, source, if source is just one point, right? If, in here, so the singularity that experiencing itself from every point of view through you. I've been saying that throughout this presentation. In other words, you are the God experience itself. You are the God experiencing itself in that space-time. So every dot here is a potential again. And if you're observing at your own self, again, I just showed you the eyes. So if you're observing your own self, the being, right? It is like looking at you in a mirror. What am I talking about? So if you don't look, then that reality does not have a reflection, right? If you're not looking, in other words, that potential is not being reflected right back at you. Therefore, that doesn't exist in space-time. So if you're not looking at the mirror, that reality just doesn't exist. So every time you observe it, that's how you make the difference. That's how that reality becomes comes to being a reality. If you're not, it simply does not exist. And again, it's the same being looking at itself from different points of view. And what is it looking at? It's looking at itself from different mirrors, different reflections. And here it is. It's like, all these different nodes. If you're one eye looking at each from different angle, you're going to see different things. And if you're not looking, then it just doesn't exist. It's like a video game that's playing on the screen, but you go to the other room. What happens? Oh, the video game doesn't exist anymore. You're in another reality already. So it's all about the observer and observing itself. So now you're free here in every node to jump from any frequency node to another point. And it's just seeing the universe in a different point of view. And again, we explained you don't go through time or space. Proof, when you have frequency, you just jump. All these nodes are different frequencies. And here's the multiverse again that I was explaining. a universe within a universe. You go from macro to micro, and the Russian dolls never finish. It's like never ending. So infinity, that's the real term of infinity. So here, Matias is explaining that same thing that he just said, the different trinities here. So to travel out of space-time, you can use your spaceship, all right? Your Merkaba, gotta activate there. And again, here's one of the things you'll need to meditate on to activate. So start with love, energy, and it's the spark that ignites the vehicle, the spark. And just to finish here, finally, remember the heart pattern that I showed you. So this is the journey. No matter what road you take in life, the positive road, the negative road, all comes back to unity. When you realize it was all you, it's all you, creator. You're creating this reality, only you. So you are the being, the light being. You're that being that has the divine light within you, having this physical experience in this beautiful avatar that you are. And finally, so let's wrap this up and understand all of this. So, okay, so now you must be asking, so what's the point in activating the Merkaba, right? Beyond traveling or having your own container to access the whole matrix and the whole Wi-Fi. Well, in Matias' words, and I'm quoting him here, you activate the potentials of all archangels, which means all the frequencies, all the potentials of creation of the universe within you. So you become an alchemist, a creator of your own reality. That's his quote. Well, what I add here is that when you die, what you can fall on is in the trap of just continuing to incarnate on Earth until you finally enlighten your spaceship circuits. Okay, when you enlighten that, what happens? Now, well, you pass, you die, and didn't I say we all have a Merkaba? So it's just that you need to activate it. So you will see when people die, they experience to see the tunnel of life. So you'll see that tunnel of light, which will take you where? Back. It's a portal back to incarnate into this planet Earth. So you can have the option if you're enlightened already, and you can turn around, and what are you going to see? You're going to see the entire universe, okay? You have the option, if you have that awareness that you are that being of light, you don't need to go in the light because you are the light, okay? And you are in your vehicle of light. So you can choose to vibrate your Merkaba, turn on that motor, okay? You can go anywhere in the universe. So sing that song, my friend. So go anywhere in the universe where you want to vibrate and where your vibration resonates with you, okay? It resonates with you going to the Pleiades, to Andromeda, to wherever it vibrates with you. Turn on your motor, your Merkaba, and you go there, my friend. So again, this is just a warning. You're not to use your Merkaba to escape, okay? It's not my escape vehicle like robbers have, like escape vehicle. So do not use your Merkaba as an escape from Earth, okay? Because that's not how things work here. Because that need to escape, if you have that, then that's a low vibration. And what's going to happen? It'll put you right back on that loop of incarnation, because your Merkaba is really not going to enlighten if you're driving it for an escape. The vibration is not going to meld there. Okay, so back you'll be back in the incarnation loop over and over again until you get it. You got it. You have to get it. Get it? You have to get it. You get it? Okay. So you must evolve In other words, you must be in neutrality. I explained that, what being neutrality means in the middle of that yin yang energy with the earth experience. All right. A lot of you want to escape from this. No. What happens? You must love all your experiences. You must love it, embrace it, because thank God that made you who you are today because of all your experiences. So love your experience so you can integrate them all. Then you can transmute all of that because all is cool. All is food. It's all school for your soul that chose to come here. And then, my friend, then you'll be definitely enlightened and you can travel in your Merkaba wherever you want to go. And this is it. I hope you learned what the I and the am is. It's all together. This is who you are. And this is we are, all fractalized from one unity to diversity. And for the universe here, there is no purpose but simply be. Okay? I am, and here it is, the multiverse, the universe, and the world is what the world is. So I hope you have a better understanding now of some of the concepts. So I'm gonna stop sharing here. So any thoughts here, Madeline? What do you think?
I am speechless. It was wonderful. I really wanna go to when you post it. I wanna go and hear it again, all of it. I think you did. Your explanation was great. The way you put everything together. I mean, it's on a whole different level. I mean, yeah, I saw the class. I mean, I heard the class, but this is totally, explains it to the T.
Yeah, I try to just an add-on. I mean, now Matias talked deeper in certain subjects, but then it just can't continue on and on. Okay, so thank you so much, Madeline. Any other thoughts? That's good.
It was great. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna take me a few hours to rethink everything. It was like, I don't know. I can't even have words to describe it.
Okay, that's awesome. We're in this ride together, and we're all learning together. So I'm glad to thank you, Madeline. Barbara,
Thank you.
any thoughts? Thank you, Madeline.
I just wanna say to you, thank you, a big thank you. I am mesmerized of your energy, your positive vibe, all the time that you put in doing this amazing presentation. It takes 2 hours. It's a lot of teaching and it's a lot of thought that you're putting on the work that you're doing. That is so great. I'm so proud of you, and it's not a compliment. I'm talking from my heart because I see how happy you vibrate and you are when you are giving to the world and to us what you have to give.
Because this is so fun, right?
I know.
Yes, she does. She does vibrate on happy when she, even when I speak with her, when she's giving information, she does vibrate on on a very happy.
It is. She bright. She's so bright. So keep doing it. We're gonna support you and the mass of that we can. And thank you for doing this. The explanation was awesome, and you
so
translate and you put together with Matias explaining so many ways, like very not easy, but a very practical way. And thank you, Karin. You're great.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Keep giving this to the world because
yes, we need people like you.
Yeah.
Well, we're all here together, and I just wanted to really thank you for joining us, me, and here in this journey. This is a journey that we're all together in. we're all together in this ride, and just
Yes.
the afterthought that I have from this, because basically all the what the benefits that you will get from enlightening your Merkaba, your light bulb, and we explain how to do that a little bit. We're just touching the ground here a little bit, but basically when I channel, it's so crazy. Like it's when I started channeling, like I got into that I was like, what's happening? And like my voice was going to I am. I'm like, what is this? And now, I go back in retrospective and I'm like, oh my God, and then Matias now talking about, Metatron and all of that. And all of that involves the I am. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy. The beings that I channel, like they come as the I am, because I'm connected to Metatron as well. So that's part of that. Before I had not connected all of my Merkaba. I was just meditating like everybody. There's a certain level of things that happen. And like I can say, this is paranormal, but this is a normal. If you activate yourself, you'll be touching other dimensions, and this is what happens. So I have the channeling experience that happens after you activate more of your circuitry, and basically also it has helped me do remote viewing. It's unbelievable because you're just floating on your Merkaba to the numbers. They give you a number, 6 digits, for example. You get 6 digits and you're supposed to not guess, but go and see where is that number associated with. That person gives you a target, but it's just numbers. And when you see that that's helping you with your remote viewing, because a psychic can do that and things like that. But when you're already psychic or even not, and then you add that Merkaba activation, then your targets, your results with remote viewing are just like, oh my God, like I can't believe what's going on. Like it's very, very precise. I was talking to Madeline, like something like
Ye-
the circus, and I actually really drew the whole circus and envisioned.
By the way, adding to that remote viewing, while you were talking, I remembered more things.
Yeah, Madeline is just explaining. I explained to her what happened in my remote viewing and the results. So she had kind of seen that scene. I think she was bouncing out of my vision, and Madeline, she can she has the premonition gift. So she has had many premonitions, and she tells people, and boom, it happens. So she has that ability to have that premonition of things that are, again, it's the future, already happened. Remember, we spoke about that, but again, just that same Madeline has that. And we spoke about that, how she also got part of my vision, and that's what she's talking about. All right, I don't want to keep you guys any longer, but I'm just really happy. If you guys want to share in the future as well, or if you remember anything, because I think, Barbara, you were telling me about your astrology. Barbara's a fantastic astrologer. She does maps. She has her clients. She's finishing up her website. We'll soon put, how you can contact Barbara through her website. She'll give you a fantastic galactic exploration of your being, the core of your being, with your 12 houses and all of that. So yeah, so you were saying something about, how you incorporate your Merkaba, because she's very active in her Merkaba. She has activated that Merkaba. Tell me, Barbara.
Well, it's something that I channel or connected last year. It's not ready yet, but it's like putting the Merkaba on top of the natal chart and focusing in the points of the star, up and down, that is in the midheaven. It's like I do the Merkaba on the chart, and I focus if you have planets in there. So I'm exploring on my own and see if it's something that works or it makes sense. So it's that. It's not for, I just do it for me and other people that I know, because it's new, something that I'm trying to become something new.
Yeah, you're definitely making a new spin out of, you're expanding what all usual astrology does, but you're finding new things into it, and that's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see.
I can't wait. Well, I can't wait till we guys meet again. I hope you you can take some of this information with you and use it in your daily life, and from our experiences and all that we shared. And we'll continue on exploring this universe within.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank
See
you. Thank
soon.
you.
I love you guys.
Have a
Bye.
beautiful night, guys.
Have a
Bye.
beautiful night. I love you guys. Bye.
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 Bye.